be just scheduling is a huge daunting task. The scheduling of a repair and then trying to get in touch with the vendor. Vendor gets in touch with the tenant, and the tenant can't be there and then goes back to the vendor, and then the vendor forgets about it. It's just a nightmare to track. And so we had a huge problem. And so Ray's team came along with this great invention, and it's solved the problem. It's Shark Tank 101, solve the problem of maintenance scheduling, and that's what they've done. And so we've been very happy with it. One of the things that it's allowed us to do is you can carry fewer staff members on board to do a high level of maintenance service, which saves you money. And so the cost you have, of course you incur costs, but if you integrate it correctly in your business, you can do a lot of this with remote team members, which has been a huge trend in the industry, and they use the Meld platform to get the maintenance done. One thing I've always recommended is you gotta do maintenance really well. You cannot skimp on it, you cannot cut corners, because if maintenance is not getting done, the tenants will find the owners. What I mean by that is they'll talk to the neighbors, they'll go tax records, they'll internet stalk, they will find the owners, and they'll complain directly to the owners. Somehow, they'll find the owners, complain to them, owners are gonna turn around and fire the manager. And so what this does, if you can keep the tenants happy, you keep them from complaining to the owners, but then more importantly, you get them to renew. If they renew, there's less rollover, less chance of being fired, more revenue for the company on renewal fees. So it really is a win if you can get the tenants to renew, and it starts with maintenance, right? The lease agreements are easy, right? When they're up, they're up. But if the tenant feels like they're being slighted on the maintenance, they will start to look for another home. There's a project management type of section inside of the software that's really helping us on the make-readies. Because a make-ready is basically a project, right? You have 10 different things going on to make a property ready in a rollover situation. Tenant leaves, okay, now you have to do inspection, you gotta clean carpets, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, make repairs, etc. I mean, it is an ongoing challenge because you're coordinating 5, 10, 15 different vendors to get a home ready in a short amount of time. And so that's allowing us to also have transparency. What I mean by that is in a sales situation, for example, one of our salespeople needs to know how far out a home is to be completed, how far out. Because the seller, the owner, is talking to the salesperson, and the salesperson in a normal situation without Meld would have to contact the make-ready person, the make-ready person to contact the vendor, and the vendor has to contact I mean, it's a nightmare to get just even an update. Well, if the software is being used correctly, the salesperson can log into the software and see, okay, everything's on track, we've got track for this, okay, they're gonna complete the carpets tomorrow, okay, they're gonna do a final make-ready cleaning the day after that, and so we can go on the market in 3 days with pictures and video and everything, right? And so it gives you transparency where without any sort of project management software, you just don't know, and you look bad to the seller. Because the seller is going to assume that, aren't you part of RentWerx? Why don't you know? Why don't you know when the make-ready is being done? I think people that have objections to using a system like Meld would need to hear just to kind of get an idea of that, hey, it's going to be all right. You know, there's some implementation challenges that everybody has, but at the end of the day, it works.